Welcome everybody back to another video here on Mummified Games. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be running down what you need to know about how to play and a little bit of a review for Cartographer. Yeah! Alright, let's get into the weird stuff. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I wanted out of 1,000 indie games. Weird, don't quite know what's going on, what does this button mean, what does this thing do? Just like weird abstract games. So this game is weird. All right, fine, cool. Let's start running down what's going on in this game. This game is a sandbox exploration game as it's described on the page. I guess that's kind of true. Sandbox as in, yeah, sure, you can do whatever you want, but there isn't much place to go in the sandbox. That's to say, it's more like a Zen garden sandbox rather than games that offer you a whole beach to play in. The real fun, or the thing that keeps me going and playing this game, is sort of the puzzle side of things. In it, you sort of hunt down clues or items that unlock further progression into the game. The biggest thing I want to talk about is how this game is played and how one would decipher everything, because most of this game is interacting with this alien-like interface. That's sort of the fun, is figuring out what these buttons mean. This is going to need a lot of pointing to what's being referenced, so time to use my favorite green arrow. Also, these parts are movable, so if you right-click them, they can be placed wherever you want. So hence the need for the green arrow. So on the off chance that your layout doesn't look like mine, then it's better and easier to call out what each thing is called, so we all have a clear vocabulary of what these things are. Let's run down what the name of these things are. That way I don't have to explain what the pegboard is while talking about the compass. We've got the map, the logs, the pegboard, screen settings, I don't know, I never used them, the diamond scanner, the flower, frequency dials, compass, and clock location. The map. Dead center of the game. It's the map. It's what's going to be used to reveal the real world output of your knob fiddling in this game. It's like the area in a map you see on a top-down RTS. This is the area that is exposed that you can currently see. Unlike if you're doing a puzzle on a table that you just see the whole picture, this is giving you a spyglass view of what the world looks like. So from the bottom left, there are what we're going to call the logs. These can be called hints as to where to go to hunt down points on the map. There are 3 lists of hints, or different logs that you can scroll through. The bar on the left will scroll through the logs, and you can select which ones you want to read or go hunting for. There are 4 peach circles under the list of logs. That's sort of different types of clues. I'll call them tabs for now. The first tab gives hints about where to place triangles in the pegboard. These clues also have journal entries called PHF. The pegboard will show a blue line of where to place the pink circles on the pegboard, and you'll need to match the shape. Any dot can go in any hole, so don't worry about placing the right dot in the right spot. Whether you need to put them at the top of the triangle or the bottom of the triangle, they don't matter. All that matters is the shape. Once you match the shape, the map will change a color or range of colors. Sometimes it's tied in with the name of the clue, like blood is all red and lavender is purple and white. Sage is green, things like that. There's more to this list of clues than just picking your favorite color. In each of these clues, you can go looking for points on the map. To the right of the pegboard is a gauge. Clicking on the center of the gauge will turn on a radar. Well, wait, no, radar is more of a radial thing. This is more like an echolocation, I guess? Like a ping on a submarine? Whatever. And the gauge attached to that button will start hovering at certain levels. These levels tell how many points there are in this color left to find. If it's in the black, then there's nothing left on this color. Each section means 1 point is left. Every point will either give another hint on one of the tabs or fill in the white circles on the flower, I think. When you're looking for these points, you need to move the camera showing the map using the compass. Grab the middle circle and drag it anywhere inside the circle. Moving the circle, you can sort of feel how this is moving in the world around the map. To find them, I just move the compass to a max speed to like a 2 or 230 position, so that way it's sort of scanning the whole map, scanning in sort of a corkscrew pattern. If you have the radar on, you'll eventually find a ping on the map that's highlighted with a white light shooting straight up. You'll need to zoom in enough before you're actually able to see the point and it becomes visible. I like to get the spot sort of close to the center of the map and then zoom halfway in, line it up again close to the center, and by that point I can zoom all the way in and see the point. After that, you'll notice the gauge has gone down by either 1 or all the way into the black. and it's probably time to move on to the next color. The second tab is full of directions for the clock location, and all these logs are named RR. These clues will give you a location hints of where to go to find the tokens hidden around the world. Think of the hands on the clock representing X and Y locations on a map. You can move east and west on the map and one hand will move, and then you can move north and south and a different hand will move. When you're looking for clues on the second tab, it'll give you a blue location to move to as sort of a ghost image or blue outline of where you need to move the hands of the clock. Move the map until the hands with the big circle and the little circle are lined up with the blue lines, like a kid's game learning how to tell time on an analog clock. Once you're there, you have to move the circles on the hands to the right depths as well. Using the sliders on the two opposite sides of the clock, you can move the circles up and down on the hands, and these change the map a little. The last thing you need to do is move the zoom bar, and that's on the far left side of the clock, and it needs to match up with where the clue wants you to be. And boom, there you're able to find another point. The third tab of clues gives you frequencies that should hint to find a clue's location. Okay, so think of it as a multi-dimensional traveler dialing into the right universe, I guess. You know, you need to find the right frequency to find the San Francisco Bridge. The game will give you the right frequency in the blue line that you need to match with the black line. This is honestly the one trick in the game that I find the most difficult to match and line up. Using the 4 circles under the waveform, you can slowly work your way to the answer. And once you do, I highly suggest setting a location tag so that way you can get back to the frequency. Go to the 4th tab under the logs and set the anchor point to allow you to quickly go back and forth between correct frequencies. There are locations that you can move to once you have it dialed in correctly. Like in the clock locations, it'll give you a sort of blue arrow on the movement compass that'll point you in the right direction. Once you move to that location, you should be able to zoom in enough to be able to find another point. And chances are that point's going to fill in one of the white circles on the flower. And then bottom right is some screen controls, I think. And then just above that, starting with the sliding bar, we can call this the typography scanner? Sure. The first things above the slider bar is a circle with a drop pointer thing on it. Clicking on the middle of this will cause the scanner to keep spinning. This will help track down more points that are found using this tool. Well, yeah, Anthony. Wow, great use of words. We'll find this tool to find points that are only found using this tool. Very well said, Anthony. Then there's sort of mini-map that can give you a clearer view of the points on the map without having to deal with the weird angled view of the actual map. Then just above that is a diamond square with a dot in the middle. This can be used to shift the landscape and dial in the right other location. All right, I don't know. I'm running out of analogs to map that are things here. It's sort of hard to label these things. The points found with this section of the game all need to be dialed into the right spots, obviously. There are 4 parts that might show up while trying to find them, and once found, they can be made into a whole shape, and that point can be clicked on the map. It starts with a water drop that can be found with the right rotation of the spinning disc thing. Just let it spin, and when it picks up on something, just manually set it to the right spot, like the right angle, and work on the other knobs. The slider bar will reveal a horizontal bar in the middle of the clue, and then the diamond above the minimap will reveal the 2 sides of a square when moving them along the X and Y axis. And by X and Y, I mean like in old tactics games, how up on your controller might move your character up and to the right, and left will make someone move up and to the left. The whole thing needs to be tested and used on a 45-degree rotation. Once everything comes together, you'll have a box with a line running through it inside a teardrop. Then you should just be able to click the point that shows up on the map. That's everything I know about this game. I played it for a total of about 3 hours, once back when I was making these videos before, and again for another 2 hours when I was writing this. 30 minutes into the second time I was playing this, I did a hard reset and wiped my file because I completely lost what anything meant in this game or where I was in the game. I mean, even if that mattered. I just wanted to start fresh. The game is super fun if you like puzzles. It really scratches that one certain part of your brain that likes math problems. And if you enjoy just throwing yourself into a game that you already know, like when you know you're halfway through a long RPG and you just fly through the character customization and you just know how to go through the menus, change items quickly, you know the items prices in the shops and what you need to do, everything is just in sync. It's sort of like like that. This game makes you feel like you're operating a menu that you already spent hours mastering in just about 15 minutes. Ah, yes, I need to adjust the clock coordinates and dial in my frequencies, and I'll find the point needed to complete the flower. And if the you who's never played this game saw you say something like that, they'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Do I have a stroke in the future? Something that I would assume someone would think reading an article or a walkthrough about this game, or yeah, someone listening to a review of this game. Oh, well, I used arrows and zooms to help, okay? I'm not just throwing things at you blind without context. This game has an interesting design, and I don't mean that in sort of a deflective insult, like saying what someone's wearing is a bold choice. This is actually an interesting puzzle to solve. I think I need to solve one more question or puzzle in this game, and I should be able to make it to the end. In like an hour and a half into my new save, I wasn't able to get past 4 dots on the flower, and I have no idea what else to do. I think I found all the points that need to be found in the first logs, and some other walkthroughs were talking about how if you read the logs, you should be able to decipher what to do next. But by that time, I was already an hour and 20 minutes in, and I needed to hop off and write this review. I hope to come back to this game in the future and tell you more about it, maybe about how it ends or anything I might find out about it. Maybe that could be a fun video. What games I have gone back and played again after the review, what was strong enough to hold a place on my hard drives, and what was instantly dumped in the trash after I clicked upload. Let me know if there was a game or review that I've done in the past that you would want an update for, or if there's a game you want me to check out. If you played Cartographer, let me know. If I happen to have missed out on something, or if you know what I should be doing next in the game to help me get to the end. I don't know. I think I'm just going to stick to Google Maps to find my way around the world, but in the meantime, you all do the YouTube dance, subscribe, comment, bell, and keep digging out from under your games pile, and we'll make it out. See you next time, friends.